Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new season of the FIM Motocross World Championship. This is the YPF MXGP of Argentina. My name is Paul Malin and today I'm going to give you a GoPro track preview of this brand new venue here just outside of Bariloche on the west coast, southwest of the country of Argentina for this first round of the new season. We're at a brand new venue once again. Last year we were in Cordoba, more to the east. This year we're back in the heart of Patagonia, about an hour and a half away from where we were in Villa La Angostura, or Villa La Angostura as they say locally. And the good news there is the airport is about 10-minute drive that way. The town centre of Bariloche is about 10 minutes that way, so we're pretty much well positioned for what will be a spectacular Grand Prix in terms of the fans, the crowd, the catchment area of a big city here in Bariloche. Now the racetrack here, as I said, the Bariloche MX track, 1850 meters long. We are at altitude. We are surrounded by the Patagonian Andes mountains, and as you can hear, it's a little bit windy. I don't know if you can hear me. It's windy. Listen to that wind. We are at altitude, about 845 meters up, 2,700 feet, just over 2,775 feet above sea level. And so what that means is the riders and the bikes, the machines more importantly, are going to be losing around about 5% of their power this weekend because of the altitude. Now when I take you around for a lap of this track, you will also see that they are still in the process of watering this racetrack to combat these winds. Temperatures aren't so bad, but when you're looking at sort of like mid-teens towards the early 20s and this breeze, you can imagine any water that goes down on the track is going to evaporate fairly quickly. But not here, because when I arrived here on Wednesday, the track crew had already ripped down about 2.5 feet into the ground. They've got access to a massive water supply at the top end of the circuit. They've been watering the racetrack, then covering, keeping that moisture in, and they've been doing that after, for the last couple of days or so, and they're in the process of doing that again now, which is why I'm stood on the Monster Energy finish line jump right here. But I will take you for a bit of a lap. The racetrack, 21 corners, something like that. We're going to be running in an anti-clockwise direction. And as always, there is always speculation about when we go to a new venue, another flyaway, what kind of track are we going to get? Last year we were pleasantly surprised with the venue in Cordoba. I think we're going to be equally impressed with what we've got here as well in Bariloche, because we've got over on that side, it might not look a lot, but we do have elevation up there from top to bottom about 100 meters, something like that. And so we'll take a look at some of those. The City triple step up, the Monster Energy step down. We've got waves over there, and we've got, as I said, deep, loamy, soft soil around this racetrack. So without further ado, let's take a bit of a closer look at some of the parts of this racetrack. So here I am on the exit of turn 1. Start straight over there in the distance. Skybox is all up and ready to go. Now because of the windy conditions, all of the advertising banners behind there, they've just been rolled up for now, which is why I'm stood here. But the start's right here, about 85 meters. And as we come into this first turn, as you can see, the left-hander, see where they've already been ripping the ground. This bit here is still yet to be watered a little bit more, but they've got a lot of moisture in here. Foxhole shot. One of the riders who is going to be competing for that, a rider who has 2 MX2 world titles, returning from the USA, Tom Vial. He'll be lining up in MXGP this weekend for Honda HRC Petronas. He only has 61 foxhole shots under his belt from his time in MX2 previously. Will he be one of the riders to watch as we get out of that first turn over this foxhole shot line and in towards turn 2? Quite possibly. But as we move away from here, as you can see, turn 3, slightly down into a dip, and then as we exit there, we head towards the Monster Energy jump there. That's going to be one of the first jumps. That's about 15-20 meters, that one. And then as we move around the next couple of corners, probably one of the first points of interest is going to be the wave section. We've got 9 waves coming out of the left. And as we get through wave 4 and 5, peeling through the left-hand turn, we're going to change a bit of direction. so the rider's having to think a little bit about that. But let's go take a look at the waves now before we climb one of the hills over there. Before I show you the waves though, this is the other side of that first Monster Energy jump. Max Renaux on there on the track at the moment doing his track walk. But look how, as we come through turn 3, you see how deep they've ripped the racetrack, and they're watering at the moment. So the game plan will be get the water in, just cover over, keep that moisture in, open up again, keep watering and things like that. And you know what, whilst we're here, try and grab a quick word with Maxime. I know he's only just started on the track, but Max, good to see you. First impressions of the track. We've got elevation, we've got deep soil, water in the track, as we can see.
Yeah, it looks really good. Fast track definitely, and open, so it's nice, you know, like it's gonna make nice racing again. It gives a little bit the same feeling than Cordoba last year, the way it's built. A bit more rocks, but yeah, the rest looks really nice, so looking for it.
And as far as you're concerned, good pre-season and ready to go?
Yeah, good pre-season. We had good pre-season races, feeling pretty good. No injuries or so yeah, healthy all winter long. So looking forward to start the season and yeah, stay in good shape all year long.
You mentioned Cordoba, you won there last year.
yeah. So for sure, I like to remember this one. It gives me good vibes, good feeling, obviously. So yeah, looking forward to hopefully making the same one here and yeah, start the season the best way.
When we come to these flyway races, we have different fans, they're more enthusiastic. Does it feel different to win in Argentina compared to another GP in Europe, or is a win a win? You know, what's that like for you as a rider?
Yeah, a win is a win always, but for sure Argentinian fans makes it even more special. You know, like they were really nice to me, to us last year. They are very enthusiastic also in Villa Langostura. Were such nice people, so I really like to come to this region, to Argentina in general, and always nice to get a good results here and share it with the fans around here.
Cool, enjoy your weekend.
Thanks
mate. Always good to bump into a rider on the track walk, especially when we come to a new venue. But as you can see, pretty heavy down here, but that will soon come back down. Hopefully we retain some of that depth and that moisture to really rough this circuit up. Maxime talking about it looks like a fast track at the moment, but I think with the ground being this heavy, might surprise a few people, especially when we're at altitude as well. Those bikes are going to need to be singing at the top end all weekend long. Right, let's go take a look at those waves, shall we? So this is the corner before, so this is turn 4. You can see how they're watering and ripping and things like that. But this is the start of the wave section. Let's run through them in a little bit more detail right now. So the wave section there, actually when I first came here on Wednesday, today's Friday by the way, it looked like the corner went through about 45 degrees. I would say it's probably more 90. But you'll see as you come out of that turn 4, the left-hander before, it's almost like a half wave, and then they get bigger and bigger and bigger before you turn left, and then they get more and more wider. So this part of the racetrack is going to be interesting, because if they can get themselves set up for this corner here, and then the next left and over that crest, they might be able to get some kind of passing opportunity set up through the waves to sort of get across the back of the rider ahead. Just depends how deep these corners stay and whether that controls whether they can turn off of those banks or whether they're going to be stuck in rutted sections, and wherever they end up, that's going to be the line around the corner. But an interesting set of waves, and then that exit really just here is pretty much where we start then to climb for the first of several hills on this racetrack, the first of which is the city step up behind me. Let's go and take a look at that now. So at the end of those waves then we go right, left over the crest, we climb up a shallow hill for the first time, then we come back down here to turn 8, turn 9, and you can see how that ripping is still going on really getting, I know it looks wet at the moment. Fireman Sam, the original Fireman Sam's not here, by the way, but the replacement is doing a good job of getting as much moisture into the ground as possible. But as I said, what the track crews will do, they'll cover that over, keep that moisture locked in the ground, rip again, and just keep doing that until they need to be satisfied that that is going to keep the moisture in. We are here riding for 2 days, don't forget, and today's only Friday. This is the first uphill climb then to the city triple. It's about 25 meters to the other side. It's not a flat landing, actually continues downhill towards turn 10, a 45-degree right-hand turn. And then there's a loop around the back that brings us back to the Monster Energy step down. We'll take a look at that in a bit more detail, but first I'll get to the top of the city, get my breath back, and shoot from the top down to see where we've just come from and what is around the corners at the top of the hill there. So here I am now, right at the top end of the circuit, just come out of the shade. The big lake between the mountains over there. About 6 kilometers from here, which is why now when we're up here, that wind is funneling through the valley and hitting us here at the top of the racetrack. Highest end of the circuit, by the way. You just saw me come up the city triple, kind of finger pointed you around the next sort of right, left, through that long left. There's, what, 3-4 waves through there, into a shallow dip, into the next turn, what, turn 12. And then this brings us to this Monster Energy step down. From the top to the sort of base, about 80 meters, and then that obviously opens up then into a flat straight. Come out of that next right-hander into the Liqui Moly step up. That's about 20 meters, and then we climb up again onto the opposite bank like we did the first hill after the waves. Then we head down again over this step down here. That takes us right over a crest, and then we head left past pit lane and down towards the finish line area. Let's head down there now. Before we show you down past pit lane and then towards the finish line area, just bumped into another rider here on the on his track walk. Andrea Adamo, former MX2 world champion. In 2026 we've got 3 of you joining MXGP. Of course, Tom Vial, Kai Dwarf not here this weekend. But first of all, welcome to Argentina. What are your first impressions of the track? You've just done your full track walk. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, happy to be in Argentina. Happy to be out here with the sun. That is important because we started last year with rain and we ended up with rain. So nice to start the season with the sun. Yes, just did my track walk. Track looks good, wide, fast, not huge jumps but good jumps. So yeah, really looking forward to ride tomorrow. And of course it's gonna be a completely different feeling to ride in the 450 class with the 450 boys and with the 450. Still feeling a little bit like a 250 boy, but still have to get kind of used. But yeah, happy to be here, I'd say.
Obviously we can notice the wind today on Friday. It was like that on Wednesday. If this continues, will that be a bit of a problem? Because like you say, the jumps aren't too big, so maybe not such a concern?
No, that the jumps aren't too big. It's good because the wind, it's not the best friend, let's say. When you have wind, really hard wind, it's not a nice feeling to ride. But I have not looked the weather forecast for the weekend, how it's gonna be. Hopefully we will have this much of wind or a bit less, not more for sure. And yeah, let's see in the weekend.
Pre-season races gone okay for you?
Yes, everything good. We had some problems in and there, but that's why we use the pre-season races. But the most important thing is that I had a good feeling and everything was good.
Perfect. And what can we expect from you this weekend? Is it just sort of first round, just dip your toe in the water, kind of see where you're at, or are you coming here to go full gas, turbo style?
So yeah, kind of both. Of course I like to go full gas, so that is gonna be the goal, but also to see where I am, and especially to learn as much as possible in the first races, to try to be, let's say, more and more competitive during the year, you know. It's a new class for me, so I guess I have a lot to learn, and so that's the goal.
Perfect. Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you, guys.
Andrea Adamo there. And yeah, Andrea Adamo, as I said a moment ago, let's walk towards the finish line here. Actually, I'm going to cut the corner. Wouldn't normally do this, but I got Fireman Sam Mark II there as he gets ready. But just at the end there you can see pit lane. There's a 180 left coming through there. They've ripped the straight heavily. They've been watering the track through there. This is the final turn. That's the run towards the Monster Energy finish line jump. Of course, that's where we started our track walk. So let's just get back up here now, shall we? Freshly watered, don't want to go face first. Anyway, that's our GoPro track preview here, round one, the YPF MXGP of Argentina in Bariloche. The track with good elevation, good dirt, a little bit stony. Yes, it's going to be windy, but we've got a stack field in MXGP, pretty much a full lineup in MX2. And as we just said a moment ago with Andrea Adamo, with the 3 MX2 world champions moving up, so Kai de Wolf, Andrea Adamo, Tom Vial coming back, we've got 8 world champions lining up in MXGP, 18 world titles between them. So it's going to be interesting to see how 2026 plays out, starting right here at the first round in Bariloche. From me, Paul Malin, thanks for watching our slightly longer than usual GoPro track preview, but there's a lot to get through. You'll see that was firemen, Sam, were busy with their hose pipes and things like that, but they are getting as much moisture into the ground as possible because it's dry everywhere else around here, and I think they're doing a good job of getting that in, getting that moisture locked in, and we will have a perfect racetrack to go riding here, starting on MXGP-TV on Saturday with the time practice session, of course, then the qualifying races and all of the races to come on Sunday. With this being a flyaway, we have a start time around midday local time, so we're 3 hours behind the UK, 4 hours behind Central European time. So make your plans around that, adjust your clocks accordingly, and we'll see you on MXGP-TV. Me, Paul Malin, Lisa Leyland, and the rest of the crew, and all the riders, the stars that will be lining up behind the gate this weekend. Enjoy your weekend, folks.